One thing that really, really bothers me when I hear Ocasio-Cortez and other people on the left and the Democrats talk about immigration is that they conflate illegal immigrant with immigrant in general. And they also conflate MS-13 with immigrant in general. When Trump and other Republicans are talking about illegal immigration, they're talking about very specific subcategories of immigration. However, often when it comes to the left's response, they just say, oh, they want to ban all immigrants. And it's like, okay, listen, you're not having a real conversation here. However, what we can see here is from BizPac Review. Now, I saw this story. Presidential hopeful Senator Gillibrand, we must expand Social Security to illegal immigrants. It's their right. I don't think she actually said that at all. And my understanding so far, I could be wrong, but we'll read through this, is that she's referring to legal immigrants who live here. But I could be wrong. Let's break down the story and see, is this the right conflating illegal and legal immigrant? Proving once again that compassionate liberalism is a gateway drug to total unrestrained left-wing radicalism of the highest order, Democrat presidential candidate Senator Kirsten Gillibrand has now come out in support of expanding Social Security to illegal aliens. What did she say? We need comprehensive immigration reform, she said at a campaign event Tuesday in Iowa. If you are in this country now, you must have the right to pay into Social Security, to pay your taxes, to pay into the local school system, and to have a pathway to citizenship. That must happen. She didn't say illegal, though. Here's the challenge. It may actually be that she is conflating legal and illegal immigrant into one category. Because my understanding is if you're a legal immigrant, you are paying taxes. So what could she possibly be referring to? If that's the case, it would seem she's trying to argue that simply by virtue of being here physically, you should be involved in our system, paying into and receiving benefits from. But let's read on. While what she said itself is stunning, that she said it is no surprise. During her tenure as a New York State representative between 2007 and 2009, she expressed opposition to then New York Governor Eliot Spitzer's proposal to issue driver's licenses to illegal aliens. Nearly a decade later, and after the transformative presidency of Barack Obama, this is a ridiculous article, I got to say. But you know what's funny? Whose Marxist agenda wound up tilting the Democratic Party far to the left. I actually don't blame Obama for that. It's after Obama things have gone insane. Don't get me wrong, I think Barack Obama was terrible. You know, foreign intervention, war, all that nonsense, things that I don't like. And he got away with it because he was the cool president. Yeah, bullshit. I'm not going to swear. She changed course and announced 2 months ago that she now believes in giving illegals driver's licenses. So this is a tweet someone said, flip-flopping joke. Kirsten Gillibrand reverses course again, now supports driver's licenses for illegal immigrants. Flip-flops such as these are nothing new in the age of progressive liberalism. Democrats used to support securing the border. They really did. In 2015, Bernie Sanders said in an interview, open borders was a Koch brothers proposal because it was the billionaires, the right, that wanted to bring in cheap labor. Now, for some reason, it's the left that wants to do it. And I'm not surprised. I really don't. Listen, the billionaire companies, these massive companies who want cheap labor, probably still supporting the same people who want open borders. I doubt that's changed. Now they oppose it. Democrats used to oppose sensible abortion limits. Seriously, what happened? I was talking to my mom about it. And my mom said, it makes sense, pro-choice in like the first 20 weeks. And it makes sense for extreme disfigurement and disorder beyond that. Now they oppose them. Democrats used to be against illegal immigration. Now they promote it. There's a video of Chuck Schumer snidely smirking as he says, who would support illegal immigration? And I saw that and I'm like, man, what a drastic turnaround. And it seems to me that it's tribalism. But here's the thing. The important thing you got to consider. Why would Kirsten Gillibrand say this? Why would Chuck Schumer, why would they say this? Because Trump is offering basically what the Democrats had offered 10 years ago. When Trump comes onto the stage and offers a more moderate version of the Republican Party, as much as everyone wants to claim that Trump is far right, it's nonsense. That's not true. I certainly think Trump has some extreme positions on a lot of issues, but on a lot of domestic issues, he's actually closer to the Democrats and early on did deals with Democrats that pissed off Republicans. Think about this. Trump got the RNC to clap and cheer for the LGBT community. The politician before Trump, the Republican who was running, you had Mitt Romney and McCain. They opposed gay marriage. Trump didn't. So I'm not saying Trump is left by any means. No, he's still squarely conservative on his policies, but he's to the left of some of these other politicians who were running in the past. Because of that, Trump has now offered up what the Democrats were offering up. And following that, what do the Democrats have to offer? If the Democrats go right now and say, we are going to do basically what Trump is doing, just a little bit more culturally left, people are going to say, well, you know, you already get that with Trump, and Trump's economy is working. So what do they have to do? They have to double down on far left proposals to distinguish themselves as being different from Trump and offering something else. The problem is, if you want me to vote for you, offer me a solution to the existing problems. Don't just say orange man bad. Telling me that you want to give illegal immigrants special rights it's not something I'm overly concerned with. I'm concerned with the economy and jobs, and Trump is really taking care of that. Or you can argue he didn't, I don't know. But let's read on. Regarding Gillibrand's radical new proposal, if illegal aliens were allowed to pay into the Social Security system, they'd therefore be permitted to draw money from the system as well. Now, she didn't say this, so this might be a bit of a stretch. But I think it's fair to point out it's a logical conclusion. If they're paying in, they very likely would be receiving benefits. This is alarming because as it stands, illegal aliens are already costing American taxpayers billions of dollars because of how much welfare they collect. There is pushback from the left saying that that's actually not true. They don't collect it, but they do pay in. Look, listen, it's always about framing the narrative. There's a lot of left-wing sources that say many illegal immigrants will end up paying taxes through various means like sales tax and things like that. And they don't receive benefits because they don't want to get caught. Depending on how you frame the narrative, that's how the people do it. So this is one of the big challenges in figuring out what's really happening. If you read a right-wing source, they're going to tell you, they're going to frame the narrative to the right. It's kind of like the video I made the other day where I said, you could say, since Trump began his campaign for president, there was a massive spike in extremist murders. Or you can say, since Trump became president, there's a massive decline in extremist murders. You'll see how the left and the right will each choose, you know, what metric there is. The only thing you can really say is that around the start of Trump's campaign, we saw an increase in extremist violence, but after he became president, it declined. That's a more fair way of approaching the narrative, but that's not what you see. They say, this was true in 2011. Census Bureau data reveals that most U.S. families headed by illegal immigrants use taxpayer-funded welfare programs on behalf of their American-born anchor babies, Judicial Watch reported at the time. And it's still true now, according to Stephen A. Camarota, the director of research at the Center for Immigration Studies. A large share of the welfare used by immigration households is received on behalf of their U.S.-born children. This is especially true of households headed by illegal immigrants. There is simply no question that the households headed by illegal immigrants access a good deal of welfare. In fact, illegal immigrants' use of some programs is quite high, he said to the New York Post last year. And there's the perfect distinction between the argument I made, as you see from the left. Granted, there's probably still some pushback, but I'll highlight, as they've highlighted. If an illegal immigrant is paying taxes, a little bit, not income tax, probably they don't want to get caught, and they don't receive benefits, that's fair to point out. But if they have children, those children will receive benefits like school and, Department of Health and Human Services, link card, things like that, if they so opt for it. This child is likely not paying taxes, in which case they are extracting from the system they're not paying into. A fair argument to be made. I'm not an expert on the issue, so I'll defer to this article. A report published in 2017 by the Federation for American Immigration Reform found that illegal aliens cost the American taxpayer at least $135 billion per year. I would point out, however, if illegal immigrants are not paying taxes, then maybe having them pay into these things would be a good step in solving that problem. I guess then them paying out wouldn't actually change anything, but at least they'd be paying into it, right? Would that be a good thing? I don't know. Let's read on. Fox News host Tucker Carlson spoke about this report at the time. Adding to the complications is the fact that as of 2018, the Social Security system is now doling out more money than it receives. Well, there's a problem. According to the newest Social Security Board of Trustees report, the program is set to hit a major inflection point this year, beginning in 2018 and continuing every year thereafter. The SSA is projected to expend more than it generates in annual income, the Motley Fool warned last year. Although the program has a healthy amount of excess cash that's been built up over the past 35 years, nearly $2.9 trillion, it's expected to dwindle over the next 16 years. By 2034, Social Security's asset reserves are estimated to be depleted. What do you suppose would happen to the system were it expanded to illegals? It'd allow millions of illegal aliens now in the labor force to become Social Security retirement beneficiaries, and it would allow additional millions of illegal aliens not yet in the labor force to begin to qualify for benefits, the Federation for American Immigration Reform notes. It is obvious that if there is no significant increase in payments into the system, while at the same time a significant number of potential beneficiaries are added to the system, The result would be an acceleration of the date the SSTF is no longer solvent. They go on. There's a lot more there, but they start pulling some tweets, so I'm going to leave it there and point out, I guess what they're saying is, given the choice to receive benefits, people will. Given the choice to pay in, they won't. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to remain under the radar and not pay into the Social Security system, and many more people who will probably decide to take benefits because they're legally entitled to them. Now, again, to clarify, Kirsten Gillibrand didn't say get paid out Social Security benefits, but you'd have to assume that if someone's paying in, you're assuming they will be paid out at a certain point, which is presumably part of the problem. I'll leave it there, and I'm pretty wiped, so I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out. Adios.